All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Ty Talks. My name is Tyler, and today this episode is going to be about why I stopped smoking weed. Now, before I get started, I know some people are going to be not as open to this conversation and not understand where I'm coming from. Some people might understand where I'm coming from, but just as a disclaimer, this video is intended to help those who can benefit from this video. Though I don't care about the views, I don't care if you don't watch it. If you think that you struggle with this, then continue watching. I might be able to help. If you don't think you can gain anything from this, then please move on to the next video. All right, with that being said, let's start with my beginning with smoking weed. Now, in high school, right, I was definitely smoking weed every day from like junior year to senior year. Every morning I was smoking weed. Literally every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, always had a blunt, always came into school mad high. If you're from New York, you know that means very high. That was kind of I kind of attached smoking weed to my identity and made it who I am. And I started doing it every day and it became a habit. Now, I didn't see it as a bad thing at first until later on in life, but I'll get to that. So, who was I, right? I smoked weed every day. I ended up selling weed. It became a part of who I am, and I let it even if I had barely any money, I always had money to buy some weed, and that's when it started becoming a problem because I started spending a lot of money on it. Now, again, some people you're not really, you can smoke weed, it's fine. The shit makes you feel good. Literally, there's nothing like getting a nice blunt, putting some grabba in it, getting that, ooh, and that shit feels good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wake up every day and I want to get high. But for certain people, it's not, it's going to hold you back. So I'll get into that later. But that's basically my beginning, right? Every day probably been smoking weed for like five years. I'm sober now. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I exercise every day. I do these things. But I came a long way. So why did I stop? That's what I want to get to. Why did I stop smoking weed after years of doing it? Well, it's one of those things where it's like, when something isn't for you. You know when something that you're doing you could stop doing and that maybe you should stop doing. That was one of those things for me. I knew I could stop. I knew I should stop. I used to come home smelling like weed all the time. My parents used to get mad at me. And I was basically ruining my relationship with my parents, which is something you shouldn't want to do. You shouldn't have to do. And I was kind of losing my relationship with myself too. Now, let me break that down, right? I used to tell myself, oh, I'm going to stop, I'm going to stop, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I never kept my word. And when you make yourself promises and you don't keep up with those promises, you're just letting yourself down. You break, how do I explain it? It's like you have a word. As a man and a woman, you only have your word. What does that mean by your word? About when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. You only have your word. So I always said, oh, I'm going to stop. And I lost trust within myself. I didn't trust myself. I didn't have any discipline to stop doing it. I didn't trust myself. I kept doing it. I kept spending money on it. And I ended up putting myself in, I would say, bad situations when I could have easily avoided those situations. You know what I mean? And it came to the point where it's like I knew deep in my heart that I could stop smoking and I just could, and I should stop smoking, I would say, but I just never did. And it became a problem to me because I was like, why can't I stop doing this? Why did it become such a deep embedded thing in my identity? Like I really couldn't stop. And what I think had happened is why I wanted to stop is because we all go through changes in life. We all try to be better. We all try to be different people. We try to elevate ourselves. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening is as I'm changing in life, because I definitely made a big change. Anybody that knows me knew like who I was and who I am now. I'm posting videos like this, which that's crazy to me. But I ended up wanting more for myself. I wanted to do things other people aren't doing. I wanted to succeed in life. I wanted to be the best version of myself I could possibly be, which is something that we should all want to achieve in life. We should all strive to do that. But it's hard when we have habits that are hard to break. And that was one of my habits. Now, again, some people, I put it to you like this, right? When you have certain, like everything is a temptation in life. Anything that you're tempted by, you're tempted by. Like some people don't have a problem smoking weed, but some people do. Like me, I had a problem. I used to do it all the time. Alcoholics, when you're with, like, let's say you know somebody that's an alcoholic, they can't have one drink. You know why? Because if they do, they're going to go back down that road. They're going to continuously go back to that because that was their habit, that was their temptation. If you have someone that maybe is tempted by women, if you give them too much of that, they're going to go right back down the same road. So it's all about what you're tempted by. So that's when I first started, I said, like, some people don't have a problem with this, some people do. I used to always tell myself, right? Like, I would always try to psych myself out of trying to stop. Like, I would be like, "Oh, it's fine. I can continue smoking. It's no big deal, right? You got Joe Rogan smokes weed, Snoop Dogg smokes weed, and they're fine. They're successful." And when you start to compare yourself to other people, that's when it's like when you try to make excuses in your own head and you try to, like, you when you try to, like, come up with a reason why you should do it, that's how you know you have a problem. When you're trying to trick your mind into thinking some things are okay, that's when you have a problem. That's when I had a problem. That's when I noticed. And it's just not something I should have been doing. It's not who I am. It's not what I want to be. I don't want to be known as the kid that smokes weed. I don't want to be known as that person. I don't want that to be my whole identity. I want to be known as someone who's successful, who's disciplined, and someone who's just admirable. I want to be looked up to. I want to be inspirational. I want to help other people. And I couldn't do that if I kept giving in to my temptations because, one, now I'm showing that I'm not disciplined. I'm not trying to help anybody because I'm always looking to get high. I'm just being selfish in a sense. And it's just an internal thing. If you like, for those who resonate with what I'm saying, you understand. For those who are like, "Oh, I can smoke weed all day and it'll be fine and I'll be still be successful." Granted, more power to you. Then continue. Go watch another video for all I care. I really don't care about the views. I'm here to just speak my truth and try to help someone who might be going through what I was going through. Because nine times out of 10, I was really smoking, not for me. Because when I first started, I was just smoking to, like, look cool, I would say, or just to fit in, because everybody fucking does it. So I just did it to fit in, and after a while, oh, it feels good, it feels good. Then you keep doing it, and then you keep doing it, and it became a problem with me because every time I got stressed, every time that I got mad, or even if I was happy, it's like it was just always, oh, I gotta smoke. If I'm stressed, let me smoke a blunt, I'll feel better. If I'm happy, oh my god, this is such a good moment. You know what I'm missing? I'm missing a nice blunt. That would make the moment even better. I would be even more happy. So it's like everything I needed to do. Like, it came to the point where if I wake up, had to smoke a blunt. When I went to sleep, had to smoke a blunt. If I was gonna go in the shower, had to smoke a blunt. If I was using the bathroom doing number two, had to smoke a blunt. So it was like a repetitive thing, and it became a deep part of who I am. And for some reason, I just couldn't stop myself, which again is a problem. Some people see it that some people might not see it like that. Some people do. Again, I'm just trying to resonate with the people that understand what I'm saying. So that's why I stopped. I stopped because I wanted to discipline myself and I wanted to do things other people aren't doing. And I just knew deep down in my heart that it's not for me and I needed to stop. And for some odd reason, I just couldn't. So, with that all being said, I told you how much I used to smoke when I started. My first time smoking weed was eighth grade in front of a fucking gas station across the street from my middle school. Um, Only kept going after that, and then why I stopped because I didn't feel like it was right for me. Now, how did I stop? That is the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, how do I stop smoking weed?" I have friends that can't do it. They can't for the life of them stop smoking weed because again, it's just a part of who you are now. It's like you can't, like, every time you have a bad day at work, gotta smoke a blunt. Anytime something happens, it just like you run to that. That is a problem. When you have $20 in your bank account and you spend $10 just to get another dime, that's a problem. You're spending unnecessary money on weed. And maybe it's not even weed for you. Maybe it's fucking video games. You're spending all your money on video games, or you're spending money on shoes because you got to look fly because you think that really matters. Whatever your temptation is, a lot of people try to come up with excuses on why they should keep feeding into it, and you got to stop that. First off, that is not healthy. You're gonna just put yourself in a hole, and it's gonna be hard to get out of that hole. I speak from experience, mind you, so don't think I'm just speaking out my ass right now. But how did I stop? Now, for those, again, some people might not know what I'm saying. They might not resonate with my message, but it only stopped when I came closer to God. Now, I try not to make this whole content, all this shit around God, but it's because I had a fucking a battle. I had a journey that I had to go through, and I'm gonna be vocal about it. I had to get God in the mix. I prayed to God almost every day. I read my Bible, and I asked Him to help me stop, show me the person I could be. And what ended up happening, I realized the situations I was putting myself in were not beneficial towards me. And I realized that every time, this is how crazy it be. This is how crazy it will be. Which, because I started realizing shit. I started realizing that the devil was trying to keep me smoking because he knew that if once I stopped, I would be unstoppable and I'd start really feeding into my true potential, which would be doing content like this, and I would be able to talk about stuff like this. So let me give you an example, right? I remember one day I woke up and I decided, I was like, I'm not gonna smoke weed today. I'm not gonna smoke. Mind you, before I used to go to work, when I was going to work in the morning, I would always stop and smoke a blunt. I would always go to the smoke shop and smoke a blunt. And I woke up that morning and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do it today. I'm not gonna do it. Mind you, remember when I said I used to always smoke when I got stressed? That was my go-to. If I got stressed, if something bad happened or something stressful happened, I went to go smoke. So I woke up, said I wasn't gonna do it. I left my house waiting for the bus. Right? Rainy. It was raining. I did not want to be outside. It was cold. I see the bus. It comes and completely freaking skips me. Just drives right past me. You know what that did to me? It made me pretty fucking upset. I was pretty tight. And guess what I did after? Guess what I did? I'm sure you can tell. I went to go smoke a blunt. Because the devil knew that if I stopped, I wouldn't be able to go to my full potential. So what did he do? He sent something my way that would trigger me and to go right back into my old habits. And for some people, if you're going through what I'm going through, if you're going through what I went through, you're going to realize that once you try to stop, once you try telling yourself that I'm not going to do this anymore, you're going to notice that things are going to piss you off. Things are going to go bad your way. Things are going to make you want to go right back down that path. And that's when you need to be like, fuck that. I'm going to stick on the right path because I know that's what's right, because I am disciplined. I know that the devil is trying to knock me off my path, and I'm not going to fall for this shit. Mind you, I fell for it multiple times. This is why I'm talking about this. So what did I do? I prayed to God. I asked God, I said, this is my problem. I give this to you because that's the only thing you can ever do in this situation. I gave my problem to God and it helped. Now I don't smoke weed anymore. And it took suffering. The second reason I stopped really, and I think it's because of God, is because every time I smoked weed, it was just suffering. I was just suffering. I'm ruining my relationship with myself. I'm ruining my relationship with my parents, and I'm ruining my relationship with my girl. And I know all of this because I would tell my girl, "Oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop," and then I won't. And now she's looking at me like I'm a piece of shit, like I'm a goofy head, and I can't keep my word to myself. I can't even keep a promise to myself. And after a while, it's like you get sick of that shit. Honestly, there's only two ways you stop an addiction. There's one, you either go cold turkey, really, or you suffer so much that it's unacceptable because you were put in such a bad position that you refuse to let it ever happen again. Now, option one is the better option. You want to do that. You want to just stop right away because you don't want to go to option two. You don't want to suffer. You don't want to be in that position where you're forced to stop because you put yourself in such a bad position because you kept doing it. Then now you're forced to stop. You don't want to do that. Now for some people learn the hard way. I learned it the hard way. I got tired of suffering. I got tired of spending all my money. I got tired of trying to be someone that I wasn't, trying to prove something to other people that I don't give a fuck about. So that's my thing. That's how I stopped. I gave it to God, and two, I suffered a lot. I had to suffer. I had to realize that this isn't who I am. This isn't the person I want to be. These aren't the things I should be doing. My goal, my destiny is to be successful. I'm supposed to be disciplined, I'm supposed to inspire people. That's what I want to be. And I can't do that if I continue to get high every fucking day and be undisciplined, out of shape, not articulate with my words. These are the things that I was when I was smoking weed, and now I stopped. Now, am I perfect? No, but I'm one step closer to reaching my goal. Now, again, I'm gonna say this one more time. If you're watching this, if you think that weed is for you, if you smoke weed every day and you think that it's for you, and you can be just fine smoking, go watch another video. Keep doing it. Again, remember when I said some people can do it, some people don't have a problem with it, some people do. And this video is strictly for the people that are interested in my story, and two, that actually struggle with this, that actually know that this is something they should stop, that actually know that they could be better, but for some reason they just keep tricking themselves and they keep doing it. I'm telling you now, it's okay. You should stop. You're not going to get to where you want to go if you keep doing this. You're not going to get there. And how do you stop? How do you get to it? You need to bring God into the mix. You need to have faith. And let's say you don't believe in God. Have faith in yourself. Try to have faith in yourself that you could do it, that you could stop doing this shit for yourself, by yourself. Let's say you don't believe in God. Talk to yourself. Write down in a journal. Say, I am not going to smoke weed. Keep writing it. Read it to yourself every day. Read books on the subconscious mind. Talk to your subconscious mind. These are things that you could be doing if you don't believe in God. Some would say that it's the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. So, with that all being said, I discussed how I started smoking weed, how often I did it. I did it every fucking day, and I did it for everything I did. Before I went to work, while I worked, freaking after I got out of work, literally after everything I did, before everything I did, I smoked weed. I spent a lot of money on it. I'm talking about thousands of dollars. I spent a lot of money. I was selling weed, spent thousands of dollars on that. I was ruining relationships with myself and people that I cared for. I was putting myself in positions where I wasn't set up to succeed. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't trying to be disciplined. I just wanted to get high because it felt good. All right? The only way that I was able to stop is by one, bringing God into the mix, and two, by suffering enough. I suffered so much, I dig myself in a deep enough hole where I was like, I have to stop. Now, if you're someone like me and weed is your thing, weed is your God, weed is what you keep running to, believe me, I wake up every day wanting to smoke. Because why? It feels good. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I fucking, I would love to take a hit right now. I would love to smoke a blunt right now. But I am disciplined enough to know that that's not what I should be doing. That is not my goal. That is not my purpose. It's not going to get me nowhere. Now, maybe when I'm 50 years old and I made it and I'm successful, that's a different story. But for now, I need to focus on what's really important. I need to focus on making genuine content. I need to focus on helping others and stacking up my bread and doing what's best for me. The same way you should be doing what's best for you. You should be stacking your bread. You should be helping others. You should be finding your purpose and trying to build a relationship with God. Now, maybe you don't believe in God. You can just forget I said that then, all right? But that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I think I said all I really had to say. Again, if you guys think that you're someone that struggles with smoking weed, that it's something that you just keep finding yourself doing, reach out to me. All right? Reach out to me. You probably have, go on my Instagram. My Instagram is TyBlocks, TYBLOXKS on Instagram. Reach out to me. Shoot me a DM. We could talk about it. I'll fucking FaceTime you if I have to. If this is something that you really struggle with, or maybe you just struggle with anything in general and you have nobody to talk to, feel free to reach out to me. Maybe I can help. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can just be someone that listens and understands what you're going through. All right? With that being said, this has been interesting. This was TyTalks. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your week. I want you guys to do something that you haven't done. All right? Do something that you're not used to. Put your body in stressful situations. When I say that, I mean exercise. Take a cold shower. All right? Do things other people aren't doing. Discipline yourself. Discipline your mind. Figure out who you are and figure out how you're going to impact this world, because that is what matters. With that being said, guys, I'm going to see you on the next video.